Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. Is your host Chris and Dpalm here, and we are back to review. This is episode 3 of season 5 of The Flash. Following Cicada's attack on The Flash, Nora comes up with a plan that puts a team member in danger. That's a terrible. Oh, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to stop complaining about these synopses. The episode is titled "The Death of Vibe," and yeah, I mean, to me, I think this is another this is straightforward episode of the Flash. A couple things that stood out to me, and it's something we talked about last time. This villain's a real threat.
Yeah, they did a really good job of creating of kind of giving us the shorthand to make him scary. Like the fact that from the future they never caught him. That's great. That's a great way to make him feel scary. And I do have one big bit beef when they did a little bit of expository flashbackery or flash forwardery or however it works to when XS was a child. Why wouldn't it be called a rogues gallery? Like, why would it be called Hall of Villains? Like, that makes a little bit of no sense. Just call it a rogues gallery. Like, that's what it is. It's his rogues gallery. God damn it. Say the word rogues one time. It's a gallery of rogues. Like, that was one that I felt like was at this point insulting. Like, it was just, am I crazy or am I right?
No, I'm. See, I don't know why I did go and mention the R word. We're having a nice season so far. I'm enjoying it, and here you have to go and ruin it by mentioning the R word, rogues. And
they're the ones who gave us a hall of villains.
God damn it!
It's just your synonyms.
No, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I mean, and no, I don't know. To me, this feels like another one of those things where it's this weird thing at WB where they made it so they can't do it because they have plans for the rogues in the movies, but we have no idea when they're.
I still think that the blacksmith thing is going to play in because if he's a serial killer of metahumans, who has been stockpiling metahumans for the last 2 seasons?
Well, blacksmith. Not only that, but like, what would like? We're on the same page. Like I fully believe
getting the rogues. I think you and I are going to get the rogues that we wanted initially. I think we're going to get the idea of a union. I think we're going to get it.
But and that's what I want. To me that makes sense. And going what you're saying here, if this is a serial killer of metas and particularly meta villains, although he doesn't seem to be very very picky in who he kills. As anybody's a meta is fine, right? I mean, hey, you're a meta. You got powers. You're dead.
It does seem like a numbers game. There just seem to be more meta villains than heroes.
Exactly. It's just naturally thing. But it does seem, what's the whole purpose of the union? Strength in numbers. So I'm with you on that one. I fully believe that, and I'll be fine with that because I think that that's also when you're dealing with the fastest man alive and his family, you're dealing with a team, and I think the thing that at some point you're going to come up against is another team. I think that's where it works, and especially even if you have multiple villains trying to take down the fastest man alive, the best way to do it is with teamwork. So, like I said, I think that's why the lack of rogues and calling them the rogues has bothered me, because we definitely get enough villains. I mean, they pull enough of these villains. Yeah. They pull Golden Age villains out their ass. So it's just like we got enough villains. At some point, somebody needs to think, hey, guys, we're doing this all wrong. Let's unionize. Let's get some strength in numbers.
Because while there was no rogues gallery shown in the future, this could be the inciting incident for the rogues. Like this could be like this never happened. They never worked together where I'm from. I like the wrinkle of Nora changing the past because I was afraid it was going to be a bit too cut and dry. She knows how to take down each villain of the week and maybe not Cicada, but everyone else. And then they were like, no, he's early. And they've taken my nerdery out of the equation because David Hersh is Cicada in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all in deep water now, kids. There is no true north. Let's just see what they do. And I got to be honest, the way they pulled off these first few episodes, I kind of trust them.
Yeah, no, I definitely do too. And I know some people get nervous about the time travel thing, but that's Flash. It just is. I always bring this up. It's like Flash always deal with time travel, and the idea that Nora can be here and not affect anything in the timeline didn't make any sense. You have to have some kind of wrinkles, and because the same thing that when Jay was talking to Barry about Flashpoint when he pulled him back out and he was showing him, when he shattered the porcelain cup and then put it together, it's like there's still cracks and ripples there. You can never get it back perfect. There's always something there. And that's how, Nora being here is going to be. There's going to be some things that happen. Now, and this kind of jumping to the end thing where we had Sherlock Wells kind of pointing out, it's like, kind of asking Nora, is like, you made the decision to come to reveal yourself at that one moment. Like, why?
Okay, are we gonna do this now, or you want to save it?
I say we do it now because I think to me it ties into what's going on here, which is this idea that it's not as simple. Because right now it seems very simple, right? Nora's here now. She affected the timeline. That's why Cicada's early, and this is why it's different. And then this is what's causing it. It's like I think it's a larger issue than that, and this seems to be there. So what do you got?
So I don't think Nora's from their future, as evidenced first and foremost by things changing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But also because she mentioned Lightning Lad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know anything about the Flash comics, it gets really weird, like after Barry dies, or right before Barry dies. Iris goes to the 31st century. It's a whole thing. In a clone body. It's all very strange. But his children are actually born in the 31st century. His granddaughter is named XS and joins the Legion of Superheroes, which is essentially an intergalactic Justice League with only one member being from each planet of the, the United Planets at the time. And she's mentioned Lightning Lad before.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the question is, was this your idea to come back to this time? The time of your parents' great adventures. Was it your idea? Because if a Flash vanishes in 2024 and she joins the Legion, we could have a very good foothold into what this Elseworlds thing is going to be. Because once you establish it's a different future, that's when things are going to get weird.
Right. So there's that. There's also, and again, maybe it's not related, but I guess, I start thinking about things that have been said and done. Remember when Jay was here last season, when he went back, he was going back to his Earth to train a female speedster.
Mm-hmm.
Who? He threw that in there for what reason? Who knows? So again, I'd say I'm very, very intrigued. You have my attention. You have my attention.
Exactly. That's where we are. You have my attention and my interest, and I'm kind of here for whatever's next because we have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the other cool thing about this is that this has been Arrow. They said the words longbow hunters before I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a kind of not an idea where it's going, but kind of a framework of the story they want to tell. Then again, you say you're doing Born Again and Daredevil, and you do it completely differently than you would in the comic book. So
right,
everyone's got a shot with me. There is no analog. There is no people saying, "Oh, it's Flashpoint this year," and then getting mad it's one episode. There's none of that. But this is them telling an original story based on the foundations of what's come before.
But I think that's when the show's at its best, right? Because that's basically everything about.
That's why I'm most excited about it.
And if we go back to season 1, that's what season 1 was, right? Season 1 really wasn't based off of a storyline.
The first time Wells walked, we were like, "Nigga, we lost it."
It's like, wait, who is the? They were playing what we thought we knew, right? It's like, well, Harrison Wells. Hell,
they changed Cicada's ID.
Right,
what we thought we knew.
Exactly, but and you know what? Thing about what we bring this up again. The 5th season of Arrow, same thing happened there. We thought we knew who Adrian Chase was and what was going on with that, and we were just so smug and knew what was going on, and then they fucking threw everything on the table. So it's like I love that kind of aspect of this, and I love not knowing. I love having theories coming in and basically being like, "Oh, that theory is completely wrong," and I have no idea what's going on. So I'm down for that. And so like you've now given me a non-speedster of villain who can effectively neutralize the Flash being the fastest man alive by changing his powers around him. So now it's like, oh, okay. Barry can't fight for shit. It's like, Barry, you need to call up Oliver. Oh shit, you can't call up Oliver right now because Oliver's in jail. So who the fuck's teaching Barry how to fight? Because Barry needs some Krav Maga classes or something, some Muay Thai, something. Like, I don't know, learn some jujitsu, something, Barry, because right now you cannot fight for shit.
I've heard that Renee is holding classes in his attic.
You know what? Getting kicked in the chest builds character. Barry needs to get kicked in the chest a few more times. So this is 2 episodes in a row. Barry's gotten his ass whooped by the same guy. You know, like they're not Zoom dragging his limpless corpse through the city bed beatings yet, but they could get there. So,
the Zoom shit's still mean. Like that's still the meanest asshole thing I've ever seen on television.
He really did like drag Barry's corpse through like different like landmarks to show off that
is this your god,
right? Oh man, that still sticks to me. But here you have a villain, and then you see that the whole thing with him being a father, what's going on? Like clearly he's that nurse knows what he's doing and is aware of it. So I'm assuming that whatever happened to his daughter, he blames on metas. But the question then becomes why? And why is it that he doesn't care who the metas are, whether they're good guys or bad? Like what is the... again, they've made this a compelling villain. And 'cause I know when they first announced it, we were like, everybody was kind of like, who? What? I don't know about this. Here, so far so good. I'm in. You've got...
So what I think might have happened is that I think that some debris from that satellite must have taken out this guy's daughter. Because like they said, he's early. That's the wrinkle that changed the timeline. And I do think it happened and we'll talk about our newest Wells in a second. I think the Wells is onto it. Something bigger here. And it's because she's so obviously their daughter that we're still willing to trust her story. She's presented no evidence to anything she's claimed.
Yeah.
None. Aside from one newspaper article saying that Barry's going to vanish and never come back. Hey, motherfucker, what are the power numbers tomorrow? Let's play that game.
But we already knew that, too.
Yeah. If time travel shows up, I'm going to be real known with way too many questions. Please believe that.
A valid point. And you know what? The satellite thing makes sense because, so a couple things. One, they keep bringing up the satellites this season. Those keep getting brought up all the time about what's his name? What DeVoe forced them to do that. The fact that she destroyed the satellite was that one, the one biggest wrinkle. The one time when she actually interfered in what goes on. And let's also remember that the whole idea of Nora revealing herself to the team was because she was stuck in this time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lie.
Which turned out to be a lie, yeah.
So then again, like you said, what Sherlock Wells said, why did she reveal herself then? Oh, well, she wanted to spend time with her father. Okay, but she could have done that at any point. Why that exact moment? Why was that? Because remember, throughout all last season, we were seeing her pop up here and there all the time. She at any one of those points, like she was she was at their wedding. She was at their wedding. So she could have revealed herself at any point and didn't. Why was it that one particular moment at that time? And so you're right. I think it is something else going on here that's clearly under the surface. I believe so. They destroyed the satellite. Didn't they? So they weren't the satellite? Didn't the satellites have something to do with dark? Did they have something to do with dark matter? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but I do know that I was thinking about this too. Like, why are they referencing the previous season so quickly, so much? But it's because this is the first season that picks up right where the last season left.
Oh no, it does. Yeah, and I think
that shit for us, while it was 6-8 months ago, it was last week for them. And I'm getting that more as we're talking about it.
Yeah. No. Like that is it's. I like that. You know what it is? It's just like season 5 of Arrow. It makes that previous season that was on the right track. Because because again, season 3 was off track. Season 4 was better. Kind of fell flat for some, even myself. But they're now going back and making that shit matter. And now you're looking at it and you're going, oh shit, okay. We got to do X, Y, and Z. We got to remember X, Y, and Z. We got to remember they did this, this, and this. Like you said, for them, it was literally last week. You know, Ralph's whole demeanor in changing, you got to remember, if it feels like it's a completely different character, it's because he literally got a new lease on life. He was dead. Ralph was gone. And so him coming back is basically like starting all over again. And we've been saying since episode 1, I love what they're doing with Ralph. I love what they're doing with Ralph.
He's the perfect amount of like competent and still comic relief. When he's like, I got a plan. She's like, you didn't tell me your plan was breaking in. He's like, I said I had a plan. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I'm a PI. We're gonna break into shit sometimes. Like, this is the job.
Yo, I love the idea that, he saved those people from being robbed. Like, first of all, where'd that guy get that gun from? Like, he was like a environmentally conscious thief. It's like
he was also like super polite.
I mean, he brought his own bags. He's gonna reuse his bag.
Don't give me plastic. Trying to be green.
I charged my gun in the sun for the last 24 hours. It's like the first go green fucking villain we've ever, a bank robber we've ever had. And then fucking Ralph's whole way of saving him, and then adding the never fear elongated man here. It's just okay. That's the Ralph.
And they're going full plastic man with his powers.
That's the Ralph. That's the plastic man stuff. And the idea that everybody laughed at him too afterwards, like, yes.
Because now he has something to prove. Because let's be real, Didney's a fucking detective. Like in the comics, like Ralph Didney is a detective. And I think they're going to slowly power up this Didney to being that kind of detective because, as we saw with our Wells, not all the detectives who have the resumes are worth it.
Right, he phoned it in. Well, I mean, he's still, to be fair, he is a good detective. He just phoned this one in because, like, come on, you can't tell me that you wouldn't have the same thing, right? If somebody brings you, if you're this great detective, you're brought to figure something out, and it looks like the same exact problem that it's always been that you've solved in like 34 other Earths, wouldn't you just kind of phone it in and take their money too? I mean, I would.
Well, you and I are both scammers, as evidenced by your twin Camaros. I just never.
Where's the money, Chris? Where's the money?
Hey, look, man, we're gonna take a quick break here because she listens to this podcast. My wife is a muscle car fiend. Like her first car was like a '78 Mustang, white with a light blue interior. She loves that car. She talks about it twice a week. You put that shit on Facebook, and I have to have a 45-minute conversation to why we should not purchase one of these.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. Never
don't tell me.
No, never let her sit into one of those.
Oh, nigga, I've driven one. She will never drive one of those.
No. I have to go this weekend to get a commuter car. I'm like, I can't drive this every day. I can't. It's I can already feel the tickets coming. Like it's no. It's,
I'm hearing I'm gonna see if I can talk to the police so I get a piece of every ticket.
It's just it's like got a luxury interior, but it feels like a sports car, and it's just cheating.
Let's go, Flash.
That's cheating. That's just cheating at all. But anyway, back to scammers.
That's why you're a scammer, and you would be doing exactly what Sherlock. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Sherlock.
I'm not. Sherlock Wells was doing. He's a scammer.
Yeah.
He's got 7 ex-wives with five separate women because 2 women are just that dumb. And like, he's a scammer, man. He's a scammer.
So here we go. Here goes me hating Joy. I'm never really that much. I'm not. Maybe it'll grow on me. I'm never. I miss Harry. I miss Thawne Wells and I miss Harry. Those are my two.
I do too. I think this guy's gonna grow on us because he's like, so you got your tattoo taken off of a boyfriend's name. She's like, he's fine. Let's go. I'm like, oh,
No.
So we're not going to have the awkward meeting in the cortex to reveal secrets. This is what we're going to talk about everyone all the time. Here for it.
Yeah, no. Like I said, HR grew on me. And they're fine. It's just like, to me, Harry and Wells Thawne are the two Thawne. I mean, the two Wells for me. And I guess I hope we get Harry back at some point, because I need Harry. You know, Sherlock Wells is fine, but Harry is, Harry's Harry. And that's our Wells as far as I'm concerned. And then there's Thawne Wells, and evil. Either he has to be in that fucking reverse flash suit, or you give me Harry, like. So, but again, nothing wrong with him. I liked him, and I did like him calling out and revealing what he knows about. That's why he's not a complete scammer. Like, he's a good detective too. But that also means.
Also met these people in lots of different Earths. Like, you gotta realize, like, some of the things he was saying, he just knows from repetition.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. You're right.
I'm like, this is a scam for real. Like,
it's like,
Social Security. That's not fair. It's the same in all realities. You're right. It is. You run on your right foot. How do you know? Because Barry from the Universe Next Door also does the same shit.
That's a good point.
And how did you know that it was a daughter and she's not from this timeline? They don't look that fucking old. Look, fake Wells. You know what? Stop.
I mean, it's very obvious, because I mean, she looks like your daughter, and you guys are way too old to be like her. Like, no, you guys are all related. It is very, very clear.
Yeah, but they're like, so which one y'all does in this time?
Mm-hmm. Right. What was I gonna say? But so again, going with pairings, that definitely means now I need a detective and a detective together, right? I need Ralph and the Sherlock Wells together.
I think we'll get an episode where they do work a case together, and then Ralph proves he's just as good as Sherlock, and we'll get that feel good Ralph.
Oh, of course.
But I like, and I don't know why I like it more than I did last year. I guess maybe because I do think that there's a competent Ralph deep down, and I've seen it before. I like him feeling a little insecure about the detective thing. I like totally despondent Wells, or totally despondent Ralph is kind of annoying and bleak, but like kind of insecure Ralph who's got something to prove. I kind of enjoyed, because I liked it when they left the meeting with Caitlyn's mom. It's like, well, I'm impressed. Your mom's a wonderful liar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't even pretend. Like, I don't know. It just felt. I enjoyed it.
Well, no. I think I think the writing and characterizations of Ralph this season have probably been like one of the biggest improvements of this show so far. And they've taken a character that a lot of people just, and it made sense. Like, he was not likable. It's very hard. And what bigger than not being likable? I don't think the character was consistent. And they weren't consistent with the writing. So far, what they've done with him has been very, very consistent. Like you said, so even when he is insecure, the way he handles it is he goes out and does something that basically shows that he is competent and that he knows what he can do. Like, there's when the call came in, it was like, hey, Joe needs our help. And this is before not the distress call, but we was like, yo, Joe's calling. There's an issue that requires the Flash or a superhero. Ralph was like, I can take care of it and go and do it, and he did it, right? And I mean, of course, he ended up becoming a laughingstock on social media, but he still did it, right? And he still did it competently, and it shows that Ralph can now go out here on missions on his own as a detective and be fine. And I really, really enjoy that and like that. Although I do have to say, I don't see how anybody doesn't know that it's not Ralph underneath. There's not that many tall, lanky. What did Sherlock Wells call him? A giraffe? A baby giraffe.
A fat giraffe.
Yeah.
I loved Cisco calling him Cumberbatch.
Oh,
just
dude.
Really on the nose stuff there.
Yeah, just brilliant. Yeah.
Let's talk about Papa Joe.
Oh, wait, before we get to Papa Joe, do want to also throw in the Caitlyn stuff. Again, bringing back the Caitlyn stuff with her mom, her father. I guess her father's been watching her the entire time. Not creepy, I guess. But creepy.
Well, I mean, no. What are the entire time? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, because when when she was looking at the letter at the end, I thought there was somebody looking at the monitor. I thought that was.
Oh, I didn't know if that was her father. So I think I'm leaning towards being Carmen Markart, the fake, like, who might be her actual father, or a fellow test subject who gave her the same powers. But yeah, I hadn't even considered that be her dad. I thought that would be just too quick of a line. But I think there's clearly something there. Like, her dad may actually be dead. He may have actually killed himself. But come find me means track down, like, the things I've done.
True. And again, you've now given Caitlyn and Ralph something completely to do outside of what we've seen with the rest of the team dealing with. And again, eventually, obviously, it'll cross paths with everything else we're seeing going on here. But right now, it's interesting. It's intriguing, and it kind of gives more into what this character does. So yeah, I'm down for that. So. All right, let's talk Papa Joe.
I didn't put him in the chair. I pointed out that he has not left the chair in a while. And again, conveniently this week, tied to a chair. I'm not saying, I'm sure, I hope, Jesse Martin is fine and in good health. Again, this week he sounded congested and was sitting down. Lots of questions on my heart, but I'm not going to share them here. I do want to say, I liked Cicada being like, yo, you never scream. I wanted to be like, because I know bitch. I wanted him to get real.
I mean, you got to.
Defensive.
I mean, he could have remarked. He would be like, I mean, I faced down a fucking, mind altering, mind controlling gorilla before, so this
not
is
a
nothing.
Gorilla, are you? We're good.
Right. I mean, this is nothing, I guess. We kind of been here, been there, done that, it is what it is. Also, Cecile getting her powers back at, the weird time. So, not weird time, but in an opportune time. So, I like...
narratively convenient.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be just that one time, or is it going to be something ongoing with her and the baby, or is it just still just fading or whatnot? So, that'll be interesting to see here. I am interested in knowing why Cicada had such a hard on for Vibe. What was it about him and what was it about Cisco?
I think it's that he cut Cisco. He's like, because he said I got to finish this.
Oh, that's a big...
Like, I cut Cisco. I got to kill this motherfucker.
That's a good point.
He said that. He said, I got to finish what I started. The meta name's Vibe.
Yeah. I'm very, very like intrigued by this villain right now. Because it's like, what's going on with him? What happened?
Good job.
Yeah, I mean, building out. I'm assuming that if it was a satellite, did he get whatever happened to him and get infected? Was that because of the the satellite too? Like, I'm very intrigued by what's going on here. And I like the idea. I like the idea of what Nora's plan was.
That was a great plan.
Yeah, because I was like,
it tied back to the Wells thing from earlier. It made everything, the whole episode, like, matter and make sense. I really liked it.
I like that. The two things is like, and I think we're gonna get some of this next week when we see what really is going. And again, they're moving really, really fast this season. Is another thing that kind of gives me hope for the season, and is why I'm very, very okay with the season and what's going on here. The idea that something's going on between Nora and Iris, and the coldness between the two of them, which has been very, very obvious since last season. And I think we're going to get into that next episode, which is 4 episodes in. That's not bad. We're not dragging this out. We've now gotten to the point where she's going to move in with them into the loft with Iris and Barry. And so it's going to be kind of hard for her not to do it. And it's very clear that she didn't want to do that. But like when they show up to first take down Cicada and Iris says, oh, it looks like Nora's plan did work or something like that, and Nora, it's like Nora's plan might actually work, and the disdain in her voice after Iris said that, and then afterwards you can just see the tension there. It's just like I'm leaning on the idea that it's in the future, maybe part of why Barry, I don't know, that something, either she didn't want her daughter being a speedster and following down her father's footsteps, and so she's not supportive of it, and maybe that's why they don't have a close relationship in the future, or what could it possibly be? Like I don't know. I'm very, very interested in seeing what goes on here and what's keeping them, what kept them from being closer. Because it's very clear. Because even at the end, when they agree to go, Nora hugs Barry. She does not hug Iris at all and doesn't say anything to Iris. And so it's very, very clear she's giving her the cold shoulder. And yeah. So let me see. I had Caitlyn's dad. Oh, shout out to them again. Small details. Got all the small details. The idea of them selling off Star Lab stock to pay Sherlock Wells. Thank you for reminding us that you guys do have some way of making money.
Yeah.
That's how you're paying for all this stuff. Okay, thank you. Although I do have to, I wonder, why is Star Lab stock worth anything?
They probably got patents and stuff. I get that.
Okay, we're fine. You're right. All right, I can go with that. Hey, you know what? We're good.
Business.
We're good. So,
we went back in time and invented the fork.
Right.
That's always been headcanon. I'm like, we just went back and invented everything.
I mean,
kept all the patents, and that's why the Fantastic Four don't have jobs.
So, I'm trying to think of what else we got here in this. I think that's it. Like I said, I think this is. I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with this episode. No. Like it stands out. I like the last two better, but I think this is a foundational episode that kind of gives us, our first real true running with how terrifying the villain is this season. Because last week, you kind of ran into him at the end. Not, it was like, a one and done ass whooping. This one was kind of a sustained ass whooping where he actually went after Papa Joe and tied him to it and tortured him. And so this is him coming into their homes and showing that he can reach out and touch them. And we know there's clearly something going on with him and with this villain. So, and then you have the whole aspect of what's going on with Nora, which also makes you think that Cicada probably isn't going to be the big bad for this whole entire season. And then when that other shoe does drop, we're gonna, it's gonna be a doozy, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes and how that works there. So, again, I kind of like the idea of Mentor Barry and seeing a speedster and Nora having to learn certain things, like the idea that she kind of had to go through and she used her speed to kind of speed up her thinking process to come up with different scenarios and different plans. And then use that to kind of figure out how to help, Cisco and Barry out in the field. So, love all that going on there. Anything for this episode you guys say?
No, let me just one class peruse of my notes, but I think we covered it all. Like you said, it was straightforward, but it also carried a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. She mentioned the League couldn't stop Cicada, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sherlock did do something because while David Hersh isn't Cicada in this reality, unlike he is everywhere else, which is also a little weird for me. Someone feel like he knows where we're going. He was a terrorist, so like they stopped at least one bad guy this episode.
Yeah, I mean they did. I mean they got somebody. So let's talk about this other thing too. We saw the pictures. John Wesley's ship.
I don't know to what you're referring.
We're putting them back in the OG flat suit. Which, just to remind people, we saw this the first time Barry ran through the Speed Force
in season 1.
We got that. We saw this Supergirl. We saw John Wesley in that suit. So, again, this what I love about this season so far is we're kind of going back and touching a lot of the things that we've kind of touched on in season 1, and yeah, man, I've always had a soft spot because I think we actually we did a nostalgia review on that first Flash season, that one season of the Flash all those years ago.
I I wasn't on it because that never happened.
I know. Like he's so jacked in that fucking suit. It's ridiculous. It's
like, yo, people like someone put in the post, that's my Flash. I'm like, word, that's your Flash. That's your Flash. You claiming this Flash? Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's so not a good show, guys. It wasn't. But you know what? Back at the time, we had nothing better, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it back then because I really didn't know any better and didn't have any better. But I like the idea of them bringing him in and saying we're gonna do that and we're gonna tie it into everything. Like, fuck it, let's do it. I'm okay. And so far, man, the images I've seen from this Elseworlds crossover, I can't wait, man. This is gonna be fucking amazing. Looks like it's gonna be so much fucking fun, and I'm so down for that shit. So anyway, folks, there you guys have it. Again, next Wednesday we'll be recording our mailbag, so get your emails into us. Please do it before Wednesday. I hate when it's like an hour before the mailbag and we're getting emails and we have to answer them like on the fly. So please try to get your emails in by close of business on Tuesday if possible, or at the latest Wednesday morning. The email is mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. If you have any questions for the Doctor or Shanna for Supergirl or Black Lightning, send the email to mtrailreviews@mtrnetwork.net, and I'll forward that along to them. So make sure that the next time they record that they can get your stuff emailed or answered those emails answered. Follow us on Instagram at MTR Network, and you can also put your questions and comments on the show. We put up the show images, so when we do that, you guys can go ahead and leave your questions and comments there as well. And I'll have some more stuff to announce next week, but I think that's it for now.
Stitcher.
Yes, we're still doing the Stitcher promo. It's still going on, I believe. You get a free month of Stitcher Premium. I'll use the code Tuesday. I know the Wolverine The Long Night is on there. Or if you just want to listen to Stitcher ad-free, again, Stitcher Premium, just use the code Tuesday and free month. So, all right, folks, thank you guys very much for listening. And until next time, we're out of here. Peace.